Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day. For those of you who are new, I eat gluten-free, mainly grain-free, refined sugar-free, but everything I make is healthy and delicious because isn't that the whole point, right? So I had my green juice this morning, you guys saw from Organifi. I had black coffee, we went for a walk, we did our workout. I always get like requests on what workouts I do. I do Kelsey Rose. She's in like an online platform. It's like $20 a month, and I just do that, and she makes like a weekly plan. So I'll leave her link down below. Yeah, it's time for breakfast. Finishing my green juice. Now I have been obsessed with this breakfast. It is a yogurt bowl, which sounds very basic. However, let's make it a bit brighter. The secret is to mix in a tablespoon of nut butter into the yogurt, and it's next level. Like, it's changed my life. So let's go ahead and make it. All right, so I have some organic berries. I'm gonna do strawberries and blueberries. Leftover coffee. I also love putting cacao nibs on the top of like chia pudding and yogurt bowls, full of antioxidants, and there's no sugar. They are a bit bitter, but I like the crunch and the flavor of the cacao. Plus, cacao is really good for decalcifying your pineal gland. This is a plant-based yogurt I'm using. It is just a natural one. A hot tip. Oh, there we go. What I was gonna say is a hot tip when it comes to alternative yogurts is to always get the plain version, not a flavored one, so that you can control the sugar. We have a little bit of this grain-free granola from Nature's Path and our nut butter. So this is my finished yogurt bowl. As you guys can see, we have the fruit, grain-free granola, some cacao nibs, and our nut butter yogurt. I'm so excited to dive in. It is so good. So because I'm gonna get questions, this is the Organifi green juice that I use. I've been using this for like over a month now. I have it basically every morning, like 5 to 6 mornings of the week. It's really good for helping your body reset, for stress support. It's got spirulina, chlorella, moringa, ashwagandha, all of these wonderful things, coconut water, lemon. It actually tastes good, and it doesn't have any weird sugars or anything like that. Like, you can have it with water. It's by far the best tasting green juice I've ever had. Not sponsored, but they were nice enough to give me a coupon code for you guys, so I'll leave that down below. But yeah, really love, repurchased, so good. All right guys, it is not lunch yet, but I'm going to start prepping for lunch. I'm just gonna boil some hard-boiled eggs. I'm actually gonna boil more than I need, so I have some for the week. It's one of my favorite things to do, is to have like hard-boiled eggs on hand. So yeah, I picked up these wonderful pasture-raised eggs from the farmer's market on Saturday, which was really nice. And if you guys have not had pickled onions are so good. I made these yesterday, and so they're like pickling in the fridge right now. So yeah, we're gonna hard boil some eggs and get those ready for lunch. So I make my hard-boiled eggs like the easiest way ever. I just put the eggs in water, bring them to a boil, and then once they are brought to a boil, I take it off the heat for 10 minutes and they're done. Super, super easy. I'll probably do 4, so I have a couple for today and a couple for tomorrow. Also, a lot of you guys have been requesting me to cover sugar cravings and like emotional eating and stuff like that in my videos. Last time I did like bloating and gut health, so if you struggle with bloating and stuff like that, make sure to go watch my last What I Ate in a Day, because I give all my tips there. But we're going to dive into sugar cravings, or like cravings in general, and emotional eating in this What I Eat in a Day. So I'm gonna put you guys down. Okay, so while the eggs are cooking, I'm going to break down at least some of the common causes for sugar cravings. So the big thing I notice with my clients or people when they come to me is that their cravings are coming because they are not eating enough food. So unfortunately, you know, women, we've been taught growing up that low calorie foods, you know, eat chicken breasts with salad, no dressing. And so when you undereat, your body basically has cravings in order to get nourishment as soon as possible, because it wants what it can get to quickly form glucose. So it's gonna go for, you know, the cookies, the chocolate. It's going to fill that like void, quote unquote, that you left from not eating enough. So undereating is definitely the number one thing that I see, and most people who come through as like one-on-ones and through my program Well Nourished end up not eating enough, and I get them having to eat more. And the crazy thing is, and like I've heard this so many times, and they're like, Liv, like I'm eating more, but like I'm losing weight and like I'm leaner. And I was like, yeah, because you're not eating. So when we're under eating, not only is it going to lead to cravings, it's also going to tank your metabolism, because basically your body does not feel safe because it's not getting enough food. So let's say hypothetically I was under eating. Like it would be like, oh my God, Liv is not giving me enough food. I need to store / not let go of the weight she has in her body because I don't know if I'm gonna get more food. So your metabolism really slows. So this is why the whole 1200 calorie, 1300 calorie, like under eating, MyFitnessPal does not work, because you're under eating and all it's going to do is make you have strong cravings, tank your metabolism, you know, make you honestly destroy your gut health, make your libido go down, mess up your hormones and everything like that. So number one, if you are having cravings, making sure that you're eating enough of good, nourishing foods, enough protein, healthy fats, you know, fiber, all of these wonderful things. So yeah, that's like number one. I'm also going to link the podcast that I did on this. If you guys didn't know, I have a podcast. It's called the Liv Well Podcast. It's available on Apple and Spotify. I'm gonna link that full episode down below so you can hear me go on about it for, I think it's like 30 minutes long, so it's quick. You can put it on while like walking or something like that, and you can learn why exactly like your body doesn't feel safe and how to stop cravings. So that's number one. Number two, I want to also address, like, I get a lot of questions about how many calories are in this, how many calories are in that, and I want to explain, like, A, that you don't need to count calories to be healthy, and B, why not all calories are created equal. So believe me, I used to do this back in the day. I did the MyFitnessPal, the 1200 calorie, you know, weighing everything, logging everything in. But what you have to understand is that not all calories are created equal. So let's say, you know, you have 100 calories of Oreos versus 200 calories of, you know, unsalted almonds. Even though the unsalted almonds are more calories, the calorie components of what makes up the almonds are drastically different than what makes up the Oreos. The Oreos are full of processed, you know, sugars and foods and gluten, which end up spiking insulin, and insulin is the fat storage hormone. Versus, you know, the almonds, we have fiber, we've got great nourishing healthy fats, and they help keep you fuller, and they don't spike insulin as much, which means you're not gonna store fat. So even though the almonds are more calories, your body doesn't do the same thing with those calories than it would out of those low calorie foods. And that's why like the fat-free dressings, the diet this, the sugar-free syrups and all of that stuff end up doing more damage to your body than if you were to have like a whole food like an almond. And that's also a thing. I'm gonna also leave a graphic explaining what I just said here so you guys can really like pause and understand this. It's from my Instagram, so definitely go over to my Instagram. Follow me on there if you're not already so you can learn more about this stuff, because it's really important to understand, and like my health changed when I changed these things. Ooh, the eggs are boiling. Okay, we're gonna take them off the heat. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, starting now.
And coincidentally, I also have another podcast episode on why all calories are not created equal, and I will also leave that one down below. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to work, and then I will check in with you guys around lunch. Kashki, is someone tired from their walk? Aww. All right, guys, it is time for lunch. I'm gonna do a big salad with the hard-boiled eggs, and I'm gonna make a green goddess dressing. It is so good. I haven't made it, honestly, in so long, and I was thinking about it. I have a bunch of fresh herbs from the farmer's market, so I'm gonna blend that up. We're gonna have a big salad. It's going to be full of deliciousness. Let's go ahead. Okay, so this is everything you're going to need. Some fresh basil, green onion, salt, olive oil, avocado, lemon, and garlic. Normally I use fresh, but I'm out, so we're gonna use garlic powder. Blend it up. It's going to be delicious. And then once it's all blended, you have this delicious green goddess dressing. You can definitely add more water to thin, but I like to keep it thick and then also use it almost as a dip, as a dressing. But yeah, you can definitely thin it out with water if you want. So then for my salad, I have my cucumber, my organic lettuce, hard-boiled eggs, radish, vegan feta, and my dressing. So this is my finished salad. I decided not to put on the vegan feta because the dressing was already creamy, but I did put on some of these gluten-free keto crackers just because I like a little crunch. In the salads, I feel like different textures are good, different flavors. So we have the mixed greens, cucumber, heirloom tomato, radish, hard-boiled egg, cracker bits, and the green goddess dressing. And I think this really goes to show that like salads do not have to be boring. Like look at how delicious this is. Not boring at all. So many flavors, so nourishing and delicious. Cannot wait to dig in. So it is 4 o'clock. I just have one call left for the day, and I'm gonna have one of these midday squares. So it comes with like 2 in a package. The ingredients are super clean, and this is my favorite flavor, the almond crunch. So I'm gonna have one of them. It has 12 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber. So this is what the squares look like. And then I'm also gonna have some of this lemon balm and fresh mint tea that I made yesterday. I'm gonna go get it. Go get it. Okay, before I make dinner, I wanted to dive more into emotional eating. You might be hearing Kashi drink water. She's the loudest water drinker. It's like the... Anyways, we're gonna dive in. So, emotional eating normally comes from the need to fill a void, right? You're feeling maybe sadness, anxiety, loneliness, whatever it is, and you're eating to fill the whole of that void, because once you physically eat the food, it will take up that space that the emotional void is trying to fill. So what you need to do in order to heal this is you actually need to release those emotions that you're feeling that's stopping you from actually stopping the emotional eating. So let's say it's anger, you need to release the anger. If it's loneliness, we need to release the loneliness. If it's sadness, you need to release that so that you're no longer trying to fill that void with food, and instead you have healthier coping mechanisms. So think about it like a bucket with holes, and you can pour in all like the food, everything into the bucket, but if it has the holes, then you're gonna constantly need more in order to fill those voids of those holes. Versus if you release the trauma and you plug these holes in the bucket, well then you're not gonna need to emotionally eat because your bucket will be full. Make sense? The next thing I want to talk about is stress. Okay, battery died, we're back in business, but what I was gonna say is that when it comes to emotional eating, stress plays a huge role. And that's because when you're stressed, this wonderful little hormone called cortisol goes up. And I'm sure you've heard of cortisol. Cortisol is that hormone that goes up when you are stressed, and it makes you crave salty, sweet, all these nourishing foods to bring that stress hormone down, to help you feel more calm, quote unquote, because you get that dopamine response from those quote unquote like cookies, chips, cakes that you are eating. Ergo, if you want to really nip emotional eating in the butt, you have to manage your stress. You have to lower stress, you have to know how to deal with stress, and things like meditation, etc. are going to help with that. And adding on to this, when you are stressed out, you have this like nervous energy, this like a little bit angsty, a little bit fidgety, and so emotional eating can help with that because it gives you something in your hands to touch, to crunch, to feel. We actually go into this in Well Nourished. I did a whole module on the energetics of food and what certain foods mean, whether they're salty or sweet, whether they're crunchy, whether they're savory. So if you're in it, go watch that module. And if you're not in Well Nourished, I really encourage you to get in, because what it is, it's a whole program that I developed to help you all with this. So it stops emotional eating, it helps your relationship with food, it helps you to nourish your body inside and out, because as much as I wish that I could teach you it all in a YouTube video, it's going to be a lot better for you to release the trauma with me one-on-one so that you can get that out of your system. And oftentimes when people come to me and they say, nothing's ever worked, no diet, no this, no that, nothing's ever stuck or worked, I still feel shitty, it's often because they haven't done the emotional work around the eating, around the stress that allows them to feel good. So around their work or their relationships or their job or their self-image or their parents or whatever it is. Which actually leads me to my last point, and that is childhood habits. So one thing you have to understand, a lot of us growing up, we're given food as a way to soothe ourselves. We got, a lollipop at the doctor's office after getting a shot, or we got ice cream, to make things better. And so naturally we learned as children that, the easiest and most efficient way for me to feel better is to go to food. So we've been pre-programmed to use that as a coping mechanism. So that's also why it's really important to go back and reparent yourself and reprogram this, because it's something that we've just learned early on. So it's actually not not even a fault of our own because it's just something that we grew up doing, whether it was the ice cream or the lollipops at the doctor's office, that you kind of just have to relearn. Okay, we're gonna go deeper into emotional eating after dinner, but I am getting hungry, so we are going to make dinner. I am going to make turkey burgers with smoked Gouda vegan cheese on like a bun with a side salad, so let's get cooking. All right, so I have some organic saute blind mushrooms, which are my favorite. I get these at Whole Foods, and I like it because they're a blend, so they taste really good. We're gonna cook those up. This is the smoked vegan Gouda. I get it at Farm Boy, and the ingredients are really clean. There's no harmful oils or anything. It's made with coconut oil. And then these are the turkey burgers. I'm gonna cook them all for kind of like a meal prep. And I like that they're already made, gluten-free, high protein. And then, I don't know, I'm gonna make a salad. Haven't quite figured that out yet, but let's get cooking the mushrooms in the burger. The mushrooms are cooking away. This is just a salad, greens, some pickled onions, and olive oil, like super, super simple. These are the buns I'm gonna be using. So these are from Farm Boy. I haven't tried them, but they're keto. Not that I'm keto, but I just like the ingredients. 20 grams of fiber, and the ingredients are super clean. Let's see if I can focus. Yeah, water, psyllium has coconut oil, pumpkin seed protein, almond flour, yeast, coconut flour, yeah, all clean. So we'll see how they are. To be honest, they look really like the unbuns. So yeah, I'm very intrigued since they look exactly like unbuns. So part of the secret for getting the cheese to melt is to put the lid on top so that it kind of like steams the cheese almost, and it cooks and melts down. So I have my turkey burger with my smoked Gouda, mushrooms inside, the bun, and a side salad. Oh my god, the burger is so good. It's so juicy with the smoked Gouda and the bun and the mushrooms. Super yum. Oh, that dinner was so good and the burger was perfect. If you have a Farm Boy near you, highly recommend their vegan Gouda as well as their turkey burgers. Oh, it's bright. So I wanted to talk about one last thing when it comes to emotional eating / cravings, and that is stuffing emotions. So a lot of time when we stuff down emotions, when we don't want to feel them, right? We are pushing them down, and so then we use the food to kind of cope and push that down. Especially after dinner time, a lot of people, this is when they go to the fridge or the cupboard and they go the chocolate, the cookies, whatever it is. And that can be because after work or after your day is quote unquote done, all those feelings that you were pushing down, maybe the sadness, the anxiety, everything else is free to come up because now you've chilled out. So now you want to numb or kind of push down those emotions, and you're looking for something else to distract you from those emotions, be it food or something like that. So that's why, again, it's important to make sure you are releasing and feeling these emotions, because no matter what, no amount of food is ever gonna help you actually deal with those emotions. So in order to help with emotional eating, you need to stop stuffing down those emotions, allow them to come up, identify where they're coming from, why you're having them, and work through them so that you can get to the root of the emotional eating and eliminate the cause to begin with. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative, learned about cravings and emotional eating. I'm also gonna leave my last of what I ate in a day here on the screen, which happens to be the one about bloating and gut health. So if you struggle with bloating and want really good digestion, definitely watch that video. And I hope you guys are all having a fabulous day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.